Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Vary, Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And today we're going to talk about Morning Joe meeting with Donald Trump, the person they called a threat to democracy, amongst other awful names, and accused him of being a Yahtzee and everything else for years now, especially ramping it up coming into this election. Now they thought they should meet with him. I have my reasons why I think they did. I want to know what you guys think. Let's get into the video. I'll comment along the way. Let's go.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday,
they're scared. Go see a shrink.
Today, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that.
I got to tell you, Trump's a better man than me because I wouldn't have let them on my property.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents.
What are you guys so worried about with threats of retribution? What are you scared of?
And media outlets. We talked about that a good bit.
Yeah, what are you scared of? Media outlet retribution. It sounds like a guilty conscience. What are you scared of?
And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested.
Cheerful? I would have been laughing in your face. Cheerful? Oh my God. Talk about and I told you so. Talk about just a slam dunk, breaking the backboard.
In finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country. We have been as clear as we know how.
No, you have been complicit. It's actually because of you and your entire industry, for the most part, that the country is divided the way it is. That's why.
In expressing our deep concerns about President Trump's actions and words in the coarsening of public debate. But for nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them.
Wow. You're figuring that out now? Because all that stuff you just mentioned is fake. All of it. Fake. Ginned up by you.
To send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote. Joe and I realized it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him.
How about you just don't give an opinion? How about you report the news? And have a guest on, maybe, that you ask actual questions to that gives their opinion. You're supposed to be the anchors of a news program, okay? I don't think Morning Joe considers themselves an opinion program. They're a news program. And why don't you start there? If you have guests on, and maybe you have a guest on who's completely opposite of how you usually think, maybe that'll help too. But I don't think so. Your ratings have tanked, which is something we're going to see later on. And this is why I think they went down there. They went down there to try to save themselves. Their ratings since Trump has won have tanked completely. I mean, catastrophically bad. So I have other people I know who think they're trying to cut a deal because of other things, like they might be complicit in certain things that have happened over the past few years, which, again, I can't get into on this platform or I'll get kicked off. But you know what I mean? Who thinks they're running scared because, like I said, what are they so afraid of? This isn't normal behavior when you lose an election to somebody who you disagree with on tax rates or even abortion. I can't even say that word. I'll be careful with that. Even on that, You have to. This isn't the normal behavior of people that just disagree on topics like this. This is something else. It's either they want to save their show and their career, or maybe there is something there. I mean, that's a theory. I don't know. Semi-pro theory, in my opinion. I don't know. We'll see. But there's got to be something else there. Than just we disagree on policy.
Mainstream media like MSNBC and CNN are hemorrhaging viewers and destroying their businesses as people turn their backs on the outlets in record numbers following Trump's landslide victory. MSNBC's most prominent hosts all saw a collapse in ratings. MSNBC's most prominent hosts all saw a collapse in their numbers, according to Nielsen ratings. Joy Reid down 54.6%. Ari Melba down 49.6%, Chris Hayes down 47.2%, Alex Wagner down 43.6%, and Morning Joe down 39.6%.
That's crazy. Want to look at those numbers real quick? Let's look at them again. 40%. Basically averaging almost 40% for this show. 40% for these clowns. Andrea Mitchell. Yeah, these people are not journalists. These are activists. We know this. They pose as journalists. They're activists. Joy Reid, who's the biggest racist on television, down over 50%, almost 55%. Good. She should be down 100%. I think MSNBC is getting sold. They're getting sold by Comcast. I think if they weren't, Joy Reid would be fired. I think they know she's toxic at this point. This clown, Chris Hayes, 50%, just about over 50%. What about that idiot O'Donnell? What's his name? Lawrence O'Donnell? I don't know what his are, but probably not good either. People are tired of being lied to. They've had the wool pulled over their eyes by these people for the past 10 years almost. And now all of a sudden, the Effished and the Yahtzee and, Hitler is back in the White House. And all of a sudden it's just like, oh, that's fine. They saw Kamala Harris give her concession speech, to say, I lost, and Joe Biden welcome back, Donald. Is that the behavior of people who really think that somebody was the second coming of the most vile human being in the past 300 years? Is that normal behavior for somebody that really thinks that about somebody? No, it's not, because we know it was all lies. It was all rhetoric. It's all fake. And these people have been pushing it to their audience for years. And then they saw the leaders that they worshipped to say, oh, yeah, he won fair and square. We gotta let him in. They know it's all nonsense now. Finally, I think a lot of these people have woken up and said, I've been listening to an echo chamber of nonsense for the past 8-9 years about Donald Trump, and I'm done. I'm over it.
3.6%, and Morning Joe down 39.6%. Commentator Kevin Posebik from conservative news outlet Human Events confirmed this, saying MSNBC is collapsing.
We're putting together the numbers right now because I've been looking at the ratings. Do you have the ratings?
Yeah, Joy Reid is down 54.6%.
Oh,
at the top of the list.
Oh no,
they're collapsing.
Total.
So much collapsing.
The mass exodus from MSNBC is unsurprising after the bizarre commentary that has taken place over the election period, such as Joy Reid urging her viewers to shun family members who voted for Trump.
Joy Reid is a vile human being, too. She really is. Talk about just there's nothing nice about her. Really isn't.
Do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question.
I love that you asked this question that I knew you were going to ask me before I even came on.
Because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not.
You'll be doing your family a favor. Please stay away from your family. You'll be doing them all a favor. I'm sure they can't wait for you not to show up for Thanksgiving.
Leaned into a lot of the institutionalized misogyny as a way to try to neutralize her effectiveness. So she was super effective.
So she's just going on a diatribe about misogyny, and that's how Trump won. And you got, this guy, I don't even know his name, just nodding. As she just spews nonsense. Never like, are you sure about that? Like, is that really it? Just, okay.
Speaker really galvanized voters in a really important way. And what the Trump campaign did, and I think ultimately they were able to, was they flooded the internet with over-sexualized images of her.
What?
They spread lies about her romantic history.
What's a lie about her romantic history? Willie Brown is not a lie. That happened. We all know what happened. The fact. Sexualized. What? I don't. First of all, I don't think anybody really finds Kamala Harris that attractive at this point. I just don't. But I don't remember seeing sexualized images of her. I'm sure memes were made, but the Trump campaign was doing that. If they did, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't remember seeing that. If they did, let me know.
Well, remember, he ran this bros campaign, right? A campaign that was largely sort of anti-woman.
What? An anti-woman campaign? Sorry, if you have Tim Walz as your running mate, there's no way you're anti-woman, because that is the least manly man probably in the history of politics.
Ratings are leading MSNBC's parent company Comcast to sell the network. Commentator Dave Rubin mocked the network for its ratings disaster, saying the way people consume media has now changed, and joked that he would buy MSNBC.
Live show, so our hour and 15-minute show, we had 608,000 views on YouTube, which I don't even promote YouTube, and we had 131,000 on Rumble, so that's almost 800,000 views. That's not including any of the clips or anything else, and they would kill for those numbers. I am not, well, I guess I'm saying it as a pat on the back to my staff and that we're doing something good here, but the point is the thing has changed, and there's breaking news just in the last half hour that NBC Comcast is planning to sell MSNBC next week. You know what? I'm gonna buy it. I'll throw in, what are they selling it for?
And it's not only MSNBC
I think they're selling it because they don't want their stock price to just tank.
that is suffering a ratings slump. CNN is reportedly looking to offload hundreds of staff members, including some of their biggest stars, as they struggle to keep the lights on as ratings tank. Commentator Charlie Kirk said, "Breaking, CNN to fire stars, hundreds of staff, as the network's ratings continue to tank." And this commentator said, Comcast is putting MSNBC up for sale. CNN just announced massive layoffs coming. Maybe the new owners will figure out that lying nonstop to your audience
Bingo.
is a lousy business model.
Bingo.
But it seems as though some hosts on CNN are struggling to take responsibility.
But I want to recognize that for all the flaws of the mainstream media, and we have a lot of them, it's not just the media's fault that trust has been declining for decades. It's also decades of attacks by politicians.
That is the main.
Oh, my God. You know what? Again, keep doing this. Keep doing it. I want them to keep doing it. I don't want them to change. They'll never get it. Like Brian Stelter, really? You let him back on the air, CNN. There you go. That just shows me you don't get it. And you're having Abby Phillips run one of the most disorganized, out of control roundtable shows in the history of television every night, where the only one with a sense of common sense 99% of the time is Scott Jennings.
Is that it could be that the Washington Post is endorsing candidates, or it could be that there are millions of voters who believe lying politicians who tell them lies, knowing that they are. That could be the problem too.
No, that's not the problem. You're the problem.
What is it about, particularly the lefty media? Why do they always misread the play?
Well, it's the echo chamber effect. So if you never speak to anybody who doesn't share your view, you are absolutely astonished when you're presented with the fact that most people actually don't agree with you.
100% correct. I always bring up Andrew Wilkow, who is one of my favorites. And he always said, these people don't know anybody who owns a pickup truck. Literally, that's a fact. They don't know somebody that drives a pickup truck. That's how out of touch they are. They don't ever leave their bubble. They go to work, they walk there, or they take a car there. They get driven there by somebody. They don't talk to anybody. That's part of the problem.
I think the first Trump presidency showed how disconnected the media was from what was really happening out in mainstream America. They didn't learn that lesson. They didn't reconnect with America. They just set about demonizing Donald Trump. And I think they've been fed another dose of humble pie. Whether they will bring themselves to acknowledge it this time, only time will tell.
I hope they don't. Like I said, I hope they don't bring themselves to realize it. I want this to continue because it just makes it easier for us normal people to keep winning. That's it. And like I said, I Trump to allow Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski on his property. He's a better man than me. I would have done, well, I don't need to talk to you. And whatever's going to happen to you is going to happen to you. I wouldn't have met with them. Maybe listen, Trump's always one step ahead. That's why he's the president and I'm not, So he knows what he's doing. So maybe he has his reasons for actually meeting with them. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's what I'm going to do. I will give Trump the benefit of the doubt because he's usually right. So what do you guys think? Do you think that it was to save themselves, save their program? Because I mean, as we saw, their ratings have just gone into the toilet since Trump won. Because like I said, their viewers are just sick and tired now. They're either completely just browbeaten, discouraged, which we know they are. They're all depressed. They need medication, which is incredible for losing an election. Or was there something else? Like I said, maybe there is something else. Because why are these people on television, in politics, this upset at losing this election? You know, policy difference isn't enough to react this way, in my opinion. Tell me what you guys think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Continue to follow me at Opinions Vary.